How do you see this, affecting Web3 gaming?
Well, I can say very generally.
Web3 Gaming, the latest news, updates, and esports. This is YGG TV.
FTX, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, founded by then CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, filed for bankruptcy last year in November of 2022. So the event had a large impact on the overall ecosystem as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other currencies saw its prices dip as the news started to unfold. We had the first-hand experience with this. So how did this happen, man?
Yeah, actually, this timeline is a pretty long one. It actually goes all the way back to 2019 when Binance actually made an investment in FTX. So there was actually a moment in time where Binance actually owned 20% of FTX. But of course, we know that both of these companies are actually direct competitors. I mean, they're both exchanges. As of July 2021, so this is now about a year and a half ago, SBF decided that he was going to buy out CZ from that 20% share. And because FTX had grown so large at this point, the price was $2 billion, right? And CZ of Binance decided that he was going to return the 20% of ownership in FTX in exchange for $2 billion in FTT, which is FTX's main token, and then BUSD and BNB. So there was like a couple of different cryptos there. But this is kind of the reason why Binance ended up with so much FTT under their control. It was because SBF paid them that in order to get the 20% of his company back. And what actually happened after this was, when Binance announced that they were going to, exchange that FTT for dollars or other fiat, the market kind of reacted really, really violently. And this was November of 2022 when this started happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time that we've seen, these kinds of stuff happen in this space. I mean, 2014, we've had, Mt. Gox with hacks and all of that. And, when the customers start to try and take out all of their money all at the same time, then it just spells disaster, right? We're looking at what's happening in FTX, like SBF, basically, he's in the Bahamas right now, possibly waiting extradition, facing a couple of fraud charges. What do you think is going to happen next?
We can make some comparisons about the seriousness of the charges because we know that very recently there was another startup called Theranos that was had a very lengthy legal proceeding where the founder, Elizabeth Holmes, was charged with defrauding her investors. She is now sitting on about 8 to 10 years of jail time.
Yeah.
Comparatively, very small amount of dollars compared to what SBF did. So there's a very high likelihood that it could be much, much longer for him if it actually happens this way.
So from how I see it is that centralized exchanges, we actually use these because of ease of access, right? It's a lot easier, to trade our tokens, with minimal fees, and it just makes everything, a lot easier for everyone. But is there a problem with the CXs?
I'll agree that they are the most convenient way to access, these on-ramps and off-ramps into the crypto world, right? Going from fiat to crypto to fiat, and then kind of trading all around in between. There's nothing that is more convenient. Unfortunately, I think what we're missing is a better way to prove that our centralized exchanges actually are keeping our deposits on our behalf. So that's kind of what's missing. And, following everything that's happened with FTX, where it turns out that they actually were not keeping their customers' funds, under lock and key, other exchanges have started to kind of publish this thing called a proof of reserves.
Yeah.
Binance did one and Kraken has done one. There's a bunch of others. So they actually tell you how much Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other crypto they have on reserve, and in theory, that will tell you if, some of the funds are missing. I think that it's still an ongoing kind of story where we're trying to figure out exactly what the safest way to go about this is. Because I actually do think that there are pitfalls both in decentralized exchanges and in centralized ones. So we're kind of having to find this compromise where there's still the convenience factor, but at the same time, the customers feel safe.
Yeah, I mean that's more of like how far are you willing to bet, right? Like, is it just being able to have full custody of all of your assets, or is it being able to use these or trade them with other tokens that you basically have to go through different apps and different platforms to go cross chain, right? I mean, but maybe like my next question for you, like Luis, is how do you see this affecting Web3 gaming?
Well, so I mean, I can say very generally that the community's faith in crypto has really been shaken over the last couple of months, right? And unfortunately, like, it wasn't just FTX for us this year, it was also Luna. That feels like a lifetime ago, but that was only 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so that happened right next to each other. The Luna collapse and then the FTX collapse.
This year was something else.
Yeah, it was definitely something else. I mean, we grew very, very large, and then we grew quite small in the same kind of period. Yeah, and I think that what we need to work on now is to figure out how to get the community, or maybe the newest users, we need to figure out how to win their trust back.
Yeah.
And that's for all crypto platforms, not just the gaming part. Because the games, on one level, a game needs to be entertaining, it needs to be fun, the community has to be interested in it. But on the other level also, you need to know that when you make an investment in a Web3 game, your money is safe, right?
Yeah.
That's super important. So I think that's what we're going to have to kind of rebuild over the next year.
Gotcha. I mean, so like, getting onto that, I'm an avid follower of Crypto Day, like your own newsletter, right? So for you guys at home, definitely like check it out. But yeah, I mean, one of your latest articles, is about Binance. So the question is like, is Binance next? So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so actually, I do think that Binance is in a much better position than FTX ever was, because I think that for one thing, Binance doesn't lend. It's crypto. Like,
I remember that video from him that
Yeah.
says like, they're not in debt,
Yes.
they don't have any VC involvement and all of that.
Yeah, so whereas FTX was very much a, like they raised so much money, they lent and borrowed so much money, so there was a lot of cash movement. With Binance, they're a little bit more traditional in the sense that, whatever you deposit in Binance, it just stays that way. So I think that we're kind of in a better spot there. It should be useful to remember that Binance's reported revenues for 2021 was about $20 billion. So I think they're okay in terms of, like, they're probably not doing $20 billion in revenue in 2022, but like in the past, they've done very well for themselves. So I think we're a little bit more safe there.
I mean, as CZ said, like, we're financially okay, right?
Yeah. I wish I'd used a stronger word than okay. But I think people really need reassurance, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, like, he got the point across, and yeah, I mean, with all that you've said, so I really don't hope that we see like everyone else on Binance, just like scattering around, just trying to like look for the next place where maybe like put him in cold wallets, or maybe I don't know, like put him in the fiat or whatnot.
I mean, I generally still recommend that if you have a substantial amount of your life savings in an exchange, you should probably take it out.
I thought you were gonna say if you had a substantial amount of your life savings in a centralized exchange, it's already gone.
Oh my God. Well, fingers crossed that that's not something that we're gonna have to go through again in 2023. I really do recommend to folks that, the biggest part of your savings should not be in a centralized place. We're talking crypto here, so you've got options, cold wallets, paper wallets. Just keep them offline if you can, so that you've got your control kind of, it's yours, right? It's your bank, it's your thing. On the other hand, I also completely acknowledge that exchanges are really convenient. Yeah. So, if you have a certain amount of your funds that you want to be trading back and forth or whatever, then that's fine. You continue to use them. Just don't put all of it in one basket.
I mean, in terms of convenience, like, I think you couldn't be more right. As a gamer, like, mostly my involvement in this space is because of NFT gaming, right? So if not NFTs, like the native tokens of these projects, and it's definitely a lot easier to just have whatever tokens that you're carrying like swapped across like in just one platform, right? I think in terms of the bad side of having that kind of like opportunity to be able to do that, there also is an overlap with maybe let's say FTX having all of their assets just on their side of things. Now, like there was that temptation to be able to, like, you know what, let's invest in this project, let's invest in Sol, let's invest in this game. Next time you check the charts, it's like you're 30% down, 70% down. So I mean, we really don't know how long this is going to be dragging out. We don't know if we're going to get refunded, just like Mount Gox is just only like paying back their customers now. We don't know when Luis Buenaventura will finally take off the McDonald's hat. But yeah, I mean, we are optimistic that we are here for the same reasons. We are gamers at heart. We love the space, and we're gonna be just gonna be building, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, like we always like to say, winter breeds winners, right? So we are in the middle of the deepest, coldest crypto winter that I've ever seen personally. I think that any company or any community that's able to kind of get over this slump is going to be way stronger. And we should remember also that, the 2018 crypto winter was when Binance itself was born or became really, really strong.
Gotcha,
So it's kind of these moments in time when these companies become the most established, and so I'm hoping that we'll get through this all together and we'll be having a much better story, kind of in a year's time.
Gotcha. I mean, bear market, it's when the legends are made, right?
Right. Oh yeah. Right.
I guess the FTX saga continues, Luis, and we can expect more and more news, especially from Crypto Day. But yeah. So how do we sign up? How do we get in touch? How do you get these updates from you?
Crypto Day is a free newsletter. I've been writing it for about a year and a half now, and it comes out every Saturday morning. All you have to do is go to cryptoday.live, and it's a free sign up.
And or if you're on Facebook, it's also
yeah.
there, right?
You can also follow me on Facebook. That's even easier, I guess, for the folks who don't use email anymore, all of those Gen Zers. Follow me on Facebook. It's just Hello Luis.
I've been reading Crypto Day for a while now, and it's only like 2-3 days ago that I actually signed up for the newsletter.
Oh really? Okay, so you definitely don't use email either.
Everyone at home, you heard it first from us, and we'll keep in touch. We'll let you guys know what happens next.